There are Can someone please confirm?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Hope all of you have received the previous year questions yesterday. Maybe around 16 to 18 questions were there with political science and international optional. Did you guys receive it?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll just try to arrange to so that they'll reach you. But I would request you to go through that questions and submit as an assignment. Okay. What you'll realize is most of the questions are you'll be able to attempt it. Okay, I will not say you'll be able to completely answer it, but you'll be able to attempt by going through the class and going through the, you can say, the resources which I have told you. Okay. All right, so again, like, I would request you to turn on the videos. Okay, keep your microphones on mute until you wanted to speak. Okay, so let us be engaged for the next 1.5 to 2 hours. Okay, so one way of completing the topic is like we divided the topics into the areas of conflict, areas of competition, areas of and cooperation. And the other way of dealing with the topic, as I told, like start with geography, start with history. Okay, complete a bit of, you can say, the evolution of the bilateral relations. Then you can understand or list out the importance of the countries. Okay, why China is important, why India is important for China. Okay, and what are all the reasons why India-China relations are in use. And finally, the way forward. Okay, what should be India's policy? I think we covered China in a holistic way. Now, when you're writing your answers, okay, I would like to also talk about enrichment. Okay, how can you enrich your answers? Okay, please keep your microphones on mute if you don't want to speak. Okay, thank you. So enrichment means how can you make your answers better and better. Okay, when you're writing, because what happens is most of the times the students who are writing the mains, okay, almost all the students who are writing the mains, they would be having you can say similar content with them. Okay, because they go through the same material. Okay, they go through the same kind of news, okay, as you go through. So almost all of the students would be having the same amount of content. Okay, now what differentiates who would be getting more marks would be how you present your you can say answer. So this is what we call answer writing. Okay, again, when I say answer writing, don't think that we are talking about you can say writing in a or you are using some kind of flowery language or something. Answer writing is nothing but presenting your thoughts in a more and more systematic manner. Okay, because what generally happens is if I ask you to write 200 words, okay, only on Belt and Road Initiative, okay, only on Belt and Road Initiative, or only on CPEC corridor, okay, or only on India-China border disputes. Okay, now getting 200 words exactly in line with this is very tough. Okay, because IR is one such topic which is easy to understand but difficult to write. Okay, when I ask you to write 200 words only on BRI, only on CPC, only on this one, because you need a lot of factual information. So how you make your answers more and more presentable? Okay, one way is use flowchart. Okay, use tables. Okay, instead of writing the lengthy paragraphs, you can use table. Okay, you can make the habit of drawing maps. Okay, if you get a question on India-China border dispute, I shown you how to draw maybe a part map. Okay, maybe you can show different territories, different regions, different disputed areas, lines, okay, or the borders which are often in use. So this way you would be able to present your thoughts in a better way. And you can also use some keywords, okay, which would enrich your answers than others. Okay, for example, when we are talking about India, China, often in newspapers, you might see the things like these in news. Okay, if you want, you can write keywords. India, China binary. India, China binary. Okay. Can anyone tell me what does it mean, India-China binary? Or what do you think it means? Wanted to hear from you.
Their inclusive relationship, like when separated from the perspective of like globally connected nations, like how is their equation within themselves?
Okay, that is better called bilateral. Okay, let me ask you this way. What is called binary? What is binary?
Having only two forms.
Okay, either yes or no, right?
Yeah.
Either true or false. Okay, now what happens is in the case of many countries in the neighborhood, okay, many countries in neighborhood, Sri Lanka or Nepal or Bhutan, when I say, okay, most of the times what India feels is if a country is moving towards China, it is moving away from India. Is it clear? Okay, or if Nepal is making a pact with China, India is looking from a prism of, you can say, a pessimistic prism. Okay, that if a country is moving making a pact with China, we are thinking that Nepal is going against India. Okay, now this is what we call it as binary. Now what many scholars are saying that India should not view in a prism of India China binary. Okay, a country can still be friendly with India, at the same time it can have some kind of pacts or deals with China. Is it clear? So don't look at all your neighborhood from the India China binary perspective. Okay, this is what India China binary is. Okay, hope it's clear. So I would encourage you to list out the keywords, understand it, and when you're writing your answer, make sure that you're using these kind of words. Okay, this would definitely help you to write better answers than others. Okay, or something like this: India promises, China delivers. Obvious. Okay, India promises, China delivers. This is what the maxim which is there in our the all the countries in the neighborhood, because most of the times India promises. For example, take the case of Nepal, Bhutan. A lot of projects were promised by India, but most of them are remaining as promises only. Okay, but what China commits, if the China commits, China is also delivering it. We also discussed about the one reason is because China is having huge funds, and in China, once the decision is made, all other agencies would follow it. Okay, but in India we have a lot of red tapeism. Okay, we would see this kind of things even in the country as well, right? Okay, because one chief minister gives a promise, next chief minister says this is not a promise at all. I notice this. Okay, this is what which happens in a country, and this would be reflected in the, you can say, outside world as well. Okay, because we would have seen that many projects, okay, are delayed in its completion within India only. Okay, due to different reasons. There could be you can say bureaucratic hurdles, there could be red tapeism, there could be corruption. Okay, there could be multiple agencies dealing with it. Now at the India level it might be only impacting the economic growth, but at the global level, if India promises some project, if India is not able to do that, then a small country like Maldives or a Mauritius or Sri Lanka, they just turn to China. Is it clear? Now understood why governance need to be increased within the country. Okay, because if we are not able to improve upon your governance, the countries might fall off to China. Okay, you cannot only blame Nepal for moving towards China. Okay, one reason is because we are not delivering upon our promises. Is it clear? Okay, then you can make some keywords like Middle Kingdom complex. Okay, China has this Middle Kingdom complex. Okay, now what exactly this is? That means China in its traditional sense. Okay, China is called as Middle Kingdom or Central Kingdom. That means China believes that we are at the center of the world. Okay, that means China traditionally has that ambition of becoming a superpower. Okay, that means it believes that we are at the center of the world. On the other hand, India does not have this kind of traditions. Okay, India always thinks about the global, okay, level perspective. Okay, a peaceful world, and if you see Article 51, Okay, the directive principles of foreign policy. Okay, which becomes the basis for Indian foreign policy. Okay, which mentions about a peaceful world. Okay, a good growth, okay, of the world. Okay, instead, like China would be looking at uh, uh, China as a superpower with all other countries inferior to China. This is what the traditional approach which China has been following. Okay, I think these kind of words, Middle Kingdom complex, or India promises, China delivers, or India China binary. Okay, I think these kind of words would help you to write better answer. So whenever you uh, read some catchy phrases, whenever you read some, or when you watch some documentary which is interesting, I would also encourage you to like list out all the keywords which are related to that. Okay, this would definitely enrich your answers. Okay, in addition to flowcharts, tables, maps. Okay, so this is what I would call answer writing, because most of the time students won't be having right content with them. Okay, that's where they are not able to write good answers. Okay, so once you have good content with you, automatically your answers would become better and better. Okay, right. Any questions on India China relations before we move forward with other countries?
Sir,
Laptop problem. uh, okay, I have switched on my uh, I have taken a different laptop. Just log. Let us just progress, like we'll discuss. In the meantime, I'll just try to switch back to my old laptop. Yeah, but let us continue. So we were discussing about India-China relations. So let us try to begin with the other countries' relations, that is India-Bangladesh. Okay, any questions before we move forward, or all of us are clear? Okay, I'll take it as clear. Okay, all right. The India-Bangladesh relations. We'll just try to understand what exactly we need to cover in India-Bangladesh relations. Again, the same story. Okay, we need to cover we need to have a good understanding of history. For understanding the history, you should be having good understanding of geography. Then the nature of relations. Okay, background of relations. Okay, then we'll try to cover about what is the importance. Okay, why Bangladesh is important for India, and the other way around. Okay, then we'll try to understand what are all the issues and way forward. Okay, our patented approach for all the countries, okay, including Bangladesh. So I hope you would start with geography and history, okay, which are very much straightforward. I think you would be able to do that okay, exercise related to this. Okay, so we'll just go with the background. Okay, so I hope like all of you are aware about the background of Bangladesh, the way it was created. Okay, maybe if you are aware that when the India got independence, the same time the Pakistan also got independence, and we can see that it was divided into two regions of Pakistan. Okay, one is what we call it as the western part of Pakistan, and one which would be called as eastern part of Pakistan. Okay, the eastern portion of Pakistan would emerge as an independent country in 1971. Okay, which we call it as Bangladesh. Okay, the erstwhile East Pakistan would be called as Bangladesh. Okay, so when you're referring to Bangladesh between 1947 to 1971, you need to refer it as East Pakistan. Now, before 1947, it was part of Bengal. Okay, the Bengal region of the East India Company. It was a province. It was a huge province. okay, which they tried to partition in 1904, 1905, okay, and later in 1911 was the partition was annulled, okay, and finally the East Pakistan, the Muslim majority region, would be carved out as East Pakistan, okay, and from 1947 to 71 it would be called East Pakistan, but post then it would be called as Bangladesh, okay. Hope this much is clear for all of us, okay. Now what exactly happened in Bangladesh when it got independence? Now India had to intervene into the domestic issues of Pakistan, okay, because of the challenge which was going up. I hope you are aware about the refugee crisis which was there. A huge amount of refugees are coming into India and settling in India, and India had no other option but to involve into the domestic issues of Pakistan, and finally the Bangladesh would be carved out of Pakistan. Now Pakistan is not very you can say uh, uh, was satisfied with India's approach, because the way India interfered, Pakistan feels that it is an issue on its sovereignty. Okay, I think this much would be clear. And moving forward, you can write few points. Few points about Bangladesh. India ended a two-frontier threat. India ended a two-frontier threat in 1971. In 1971, by creating Bangladesh. By creating Bangladesh. Okay, just allow me a few seconds. I'll just turn on to the old laptop again. Okay, all right. Hope we are good on the connection and everything. No?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry for the disturbance. Okay, all right. So we were discussing about how the Bangladesh was created, okay, and how the threat of the two frontiers has been shifted from India. Okay, next point. Next point. Bangladesh was quickly followed by Bangladesh was quickly followed by coup, C-O-U-P, coup. Can anyone tell me what is coup?
When the military takes power forcefully and they disturb the established political system.
Yes. So if there is a, you can say a takeover by the army, okay, and the existing regime is overthrown, that's what we call it as coup. Okay, Bangladesh in 1971, we expected that Bangladesh would be having good relations with India. Okay, because India played a very important role in the creation of Bangladesh. But slowly, what would happen here is in 1972 itself. Okay, uh, uh, the after Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's death, there would be coup, there would be counter coup, and there would be counter coup. Okay, which would happen in succession, one after the other. Now, ultimately, what does it mean for India is the relations with India were strained, okay, unexpectedly. Okay, in fact, Bangladesh became closer to Pakistan. Okay, if you see post 1975. Okay, though Bangladesh often acknowledges the role played by India in its independence, we can see that the military regime in Pakistan, okay, sorry, the military regime in Bangladesh would become more closer to Pakistan. Okay, this is what like which India is not very keen about. Okay, now we can see that over time we can see that there would be emergence of nationalism in Bangladesh. Okay, now this is something very important to understand. Now, what do you understand by nationalism? Can anyone tell me? What do you understand by nationalism in simple sense? Come on, say something.
Identifying with the collective spirit of the nation.
Collective spirit of the nation. It is love for your country. Okay, in short, it is a love for your country. But most often, what happens is the nationalism would take a different turn. Rather than it becoming the love for your country, okay, more about it becomes the hatred for another country. Is it clear? Okay, for example, if you take India during our freedom struggle. Okay, when I say nationalism, it means not about love for India, but also hatred against British. Okay, have you noticed this? Okay, before 1947, when we say India, when we say nationalism in India, it means that anti-British sentiments. Is it clear? You cannot say you love Britain. At the same time, you cannot be a patriot, because if you want to become a Indian, first thing you need to do is you have to hate British. Okay, this is what the nationalism, which was when we are talking before 1947. Okay, but today nationalism in India means what? What does it mean? Hatred against Pakistan. Have you noticed this? Okay, it is less about love towards India, but more about the hatred against Pakistan. Okay, now what the point I wanted to make here is when I say the word nationalism, okay, often it connotates a negative sentiment against a country. Okay, now today the sentiment is Pakistan. Okay, now when I say nationalism in all the countries in India's neighborhood, okay, from Bangladesh to Pakistan to Nepal to Sri Lanka, okay, when I use the word nationalism, in short, nationalism means anti-India sentiment. That's it. Okay, in short, when I say nationalism in international sphere, when I use the word nationalism, there is growing nationalism in Nepal. Okay, what it means? It means that anti-India sentiments are rising in Nepal. If I say nationalism in Sri Lanka, it means anti-India sentiments are rising in Sri Lanka. Now, the question is why the hatred against India in all the countries in the neighborhood? Can you think of the reasons why all the countries in the neighborhood hate India when I say nationalism? Anyone?
They do not want to identify with the Indian origin.
Indian origin. Good, good, good. Any other reason? See, big country and a small country. Okay, obvious. So who would be a villain? Okay, when I say there is a large country and a small country, you try to play the victim card, right? Okay, you say that a huge country is trying to arm twist us. Okay, a huge country in our neighborhood. Okay, now one hand, as you rightly pointed out, that's a good this one, because the identity is so similar. Okay, either from religion, either from language, either from culture. Okay, they borrow a lot of things from India. Now, if they want to show that they are having a unique identity, they need to get distracted or they need to move away from India. This is what they wanted to show. They wanted to project that we are not part of India. Okay, from historical perspective, from cultural perspective, they wanted to show that we are distinct. Okay, to show that they are distinct, Sometimes they walk an extra mile. Okay, but today if you see, you might not be able to differentiate who is a Bangladeshi and who is an Indian, who is a Sri Lankan and who is an Indian, because both look something similar. Both speak same language. Both might be having similar dressing style, same food habits. Now, how would you differentiate a Sri Lankan from an Indian? To grow this, to show that we are having a unique identity, they need to project or they need to distance themselves from India. Is it clear? Why nationalism means anti-India sentiments? Now, in Bangladesh, slowly there would be a brewing up of nationalism, which would ultimately result into a political party called as BNP. If you want, you can write it down. Bangladesh Nationalistic Party. BNP. So these anti-India sentiments would culminate in the emergence of a political party called the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, and the party which was there in power, okay, which was when the Bangladesh was created, was Awami League. Now, the Awami League is something like a pro-India, okay, and BNP is something like anti-India. Okay, so simple. Okay, there are two political regimes which are there in Bangladesh. Okay, if BNP comes to power, the relations with Pakistan would improve. If Awami League comes to power, the relations with India would improve. Now, this might look like too straightforward, but what happens in the real ground? Okay, what happens in the real ground? Even for BNP, they cannot completely reject India. Okay, because they need to depend upon India for a huge amount of, maybe you can say, resources, a huge amount of agreements related to risk, water sharing, related to the refugee crisis. They need to depend upon India. Okay, in the same way, Awami League also, even though they come to power, okay, they often show that we are having good relations with India. It comes to Awami League at a huge cost. Okay, whatever the relations it is maintaining with India, okay, because they need to tackle their local population as well. Okay, because if the anti-India sentiments are growing, if Awami League is making a treaty with India, okay, it might not go well, okay, for the Awami League, for its political future. Okay, so even for Awami League, the relations with India comes with a huge cost. Even for BNP, the anti-India sentiments come with a huge cost. Is this clear? Okay, though in short, we'll say that Awami League is pro-India or BNP is anti-India, but in real life, it is not like that. Okay, but at least today, we are having Awami League into power. Okay, so the relations with Bangladesh are more or less on a good terms. Okay, at least on paper, they are on good terms. Okay, now why Bangladesh is important for India? Or you can write the importance of Bangladesh. Okay, importance of Bangladesh. Maybe I'll just give you a few pointers. Okay, later you can deep dive into each of this. Okay, first one, historical and cultural ties. Okay, so whenever you are talking about any country, always start with historical ties, always start with cultural ties. Okay, don't talk about like economic or security aspects. Okay, whenever you are writing your answers, a good way to start your answers, you have to talk about something about historical ties, something about cultural ties. Okay, so we know that the Indian history and Bangladesh history cannot be separated. Okay, starting from you can say way back from something like Mauryan Empire. Okay, we do have a huge amount of dependence on the ports of Bangladesh, and okay, and even during the medieval times, or even during the you would have heard of Palas in your modern medieval Indian history or ancient Indian history. Okay, dynasty in the eastern part of India. Okay, or maybe in your modern Indian history, you would see a lot of freedom struggle movements, okay, happening in and around Bangladesh, okay, so-called Bangladesh today. Okay, heard of Chittagong Armory raid? Can anyone tell me who is the leader of this? A very important event in modern Indian history. a very famous revolutionary.
Answer is Surya Sen, sir.
Very good. Okay, heard of Surya Sen, heard of Preeti Lata Vadedar. Okay, all these were the revolutionaries who would be part of the Chittagong Armory, right? Okay, in fact, the Swadeshi movement. Okay, the Swadeshi movement would start because of the proposed partition of Bangladesh. Okay, or the proposed partition of the Bengal. Okay, the partition of Bengal, which would lead to Swadeshi movement. So you can trace back all this. Okay, you can talk about like cultural ties, historical ties, and Bangladesh is also a home to a huge amount of Hindu minorities. Okay, something like 15 million people, okay, of Hindu minority are living in Bangladesh, and any, you can say, turbulence with India would keep these lives in jeopardy. Okay, this is one more reason why the relations with Bangladesh are very important. Okay, because the countries like Bangladesh are not very much secular like India. Okay, so the fate of minorities depends very much on the political regime. Okay, so this is also a reason why good relations with Bangladesh are important. And we can talk about the issues of internal security. Okay, internal security. When we are talking about the insurgency movements like Alpha, heard of Alpha? ULFA. Okay, the Liberation Front of Assam, or NSCN, okay, of Nagaland. Okay, they do have bases in Bangladesh. Okay, so until the Bangladesh government cooperates, we cannot be able to tackle the internal security problems like the insurgency problems or the terrorist organizations. Okay, almost all terrorist organizations which operate in India have their franchises in Bangladesh. Okay, so again, it becomes a need for a cooperation with Bangladesh government. Okay, without which it becomes impossible for Indian agencies to work or tackle the problems of terrorism. Okay, either with intelligence agencies, either with customs, either with the border security personnel, it becomes very important to protect our internal security interests. Okay, then we can talk about the issue of migration. Okay, today we are talking about the Chekmas, Hajongs. Okay, heard of them? Or Rohingyas, Chekma, Hajong. These are all the groups of refugees who are often in news. Okay, or Rohingya. Okay, when we are talking about the refugee crisis, a huge amount of migrations happen from Bangladesh to India. Okay, most of the times the northeastern part of India, okay, is flooded with huge amounts of refugees. Okay, and you can talk about the river sharing agreements, okay, which is there, and often the China card. Okay, Bangladesh often plays the China card whenever BNP comes to power. Even Awami League, okay, a lot of projects are given to the Chinese companies. Okay, now again, if you don't have good relations with countries like Bangladesh, they might fall to China. Okay, so all these are the reasons you can list out. Okay, and the other way around, why India is important to Bangladesh. Both the way it should be equal. Now, though there is a lot of importance of Bangladesh, though there is a lot of this one of Bangladesh, what we need to realize is we have a huge amount of land border with Bangladesh. Okay, now it is more than 4,000 kilometers of land border. Okay, I think this is the first class which we discussed. Okay, with Bangladesh, we have the largest land border, more than 4,000 kilometers. So ultimately, we cannot guard a border of 4,000 kilometers 24/7. Okay, that's why good relations with Bangladesh become super critical. Okay, and Bangladesh is also a country with the highest density of population. Okay, if you are aware that the Bangladesh is having almost the same population like Russia. Okay, Russia is the largest country in the world. Okay, but Bangladesh is having almost the same population like Russia. Okay, which is Russia, which is spread across like 7 time zones. Okay, so as much of population is there in Bangladesh, so there is a huge population density in Bangladesh. Okay, now this huge population density coupled with poverty, coupled with a lot of other domestic challenges would lead to refugee crisis. Okay, Now write down the important issues. Important issues. With respect to Bangladesh. Okay, again, we'll just focus on the important issues. The other aspects, I hope you would be going to do on your own. Okay. See, though there are a lot of issues between Bangladesh and India, many scholars say that they revolve around 3T. Okay. One is Tista, trade and terrorism. Okay, Tista, the river Tista, trade and terrorism. Now, in addition to that, we are going to cover one more issue between India and Bangladesh, that is border disputes. Border disputes. Okay, I think once we cover this, we should be having a good amount of content with us. Okay, you can write down first one, border disputes. Okay, right now, India, Bangladesh share more than 4,000 kilometers of land border. More than 4,000 kilometers of land border. Kilometers of land border. In 2015, the land boundary agreement resolved the Enclaves issue. The Enclaves issue. Okay, write down what are enclaves. What are enclaves? What are enclaves? Enclave is a piece of land. Enclave is a piece of land that is completely surrounded by a foreign territory. Okay, for example, this side it is India. Okay, this side it is India. The other side it is Bangladesh. Now, if there is a territory of Bangladesh within India, okay, this is what we call it as enclave. Okay, this is what we call it as enclave. Okay, in local language, it is called Chit Mohol. CHHIT. Chit Mohol. MOHOL. Okay. Now, first of all, why the enclaves were formed between India and Bangladesh? Now, this was part of princely state, okay, called Kuch Behar. Okay, the concept of enclaves was part of the princely states which were there. And during this time, a lot of territories were exchanged between the princes, both on Indian side and Bangladesh side. Now, because the Radcliffe line did not go into the issue of enclaves. Okay, so the issues of the enclaves was unresolved. Okay, and post 1947, both India and Pakistan did not have good relations, and even the newly born Bangladesh had its own troubles. Okay, and India also had its own internal challenges, which we could not really make the political class convinced, okay, about the boundary dispute. But finally, in 2015, a stand has been taken on both the sides. Finally, the exchange of enclaves happened. Now, what exactly the problems of enclaves? Now, imagine a group of people who are stranded in India, who belong to Bangladesh. Now, here, if they want to travel to Bangladesh, they need to cross international border twice. Okay, are you getting the point here? So if there are some people who are residing in this enclave, if they want to go back to Bangladesh, they need to cross international border twice. Because they did not have proper, you can say, documents with them, they did not go back. They in fact settled here itself. Okay. Now, likewise, a lot of Indians are trapped in the enclave, which is there within Bangladesh. Okay. Now, this is what the problems of enclaves. Now, what exactly would be the condition of the people who are living here? Okay. They have no access to any of the facilities provided by their governments. Okay. Now, these enclaves over time have merged as, you can say, hubs of all illicit activities. Okay, like arms trafficking, drugs trafficking, or prostitution. A lot of illegal activities started, okay, happening in and around these enclaves, because the Indian security forces cannot enter these enclaves, okay, or the Bangladesh security forces cannot enter these enclaves because of the density of population which is there. Okay, because of the poverty which is there in these regions, both the sides of the region. We can see that these enclaves have transformed into the hubs of illegal activities. Is it clear? Now, in fact, they were not only enclaves, they were counter enclaves. Okay, and they were the enclaves of 4 levels. Hope you got it. Okay, 4 levels of enclaves. That means India surrounded by Bangladesh, surrounded by India, surrounded by Bangladesh, surrounded by India. Okay, this is what we are calling as 4th level of enclaves. Okay, now this was a situation which was there between India and Bangladesh until 2015. Now the issue of enclaves has been resolved in 2015, where India has lost a land. India lost land, and we have given it to Bangladesh. But keeping in mind the condition of the people, it was worth doing that exercise. Okay, understood what exactly the problems of enclave is? Any questions?
Sir.
Yeah.
So after the exchange, so like what happens to the people who inhabited? Like, did they move back to their countries or they got the new citizenship?
No, the people now India recognized that all the enclaves which are there within India belongs to India, and the people, and see the people who were already accustomed in living here. The only thing is they are not having any facilities from Indian government. Okay, now they would be given Indian citizenship and they would be treated as Indians. The same with people of here. Okay, now they were free to go. Okay, now they were unlocked. Okay, now where they were living, they continue to live, but with all the facilities, all the rights as Indians. Okay, so we can see the statistics here. Like there were 111 enclaves, okay, which India exchanged, and there were 51 enclaves which Pakistan exchanged, okay, Bangladesh exchanged. Okay, but ultimately we lost some territory, okay, to Bangladesh. But keeping in mind the lives of the people, the condition of the people, which was really required at that particular point of time. Okay, now in addition to enclaves, there was issue of adverse possession. There was the issue of adverse possession. Okay, you can write down. Due to the change of course of rivers, and due to the change of course of rivers, Okay, sometimes new grounds might be created. Okay, these are what we call it as adverse possessions. Okay, for example, if this is a river, okay, which is flowing, and over time, let us take the river shifts its course. Okay, the course of river is shifted. Now, this particular portion is a huge fertile land, and because of the density of population, people would come start living here. Okay, and they would start farming in these particular regions. Okay, these regions are called adverse possessions. So these are not clearly defined on the maps earlier. Okay, because of the changing course of rivers. Okay, but again, the adverse possessions were also taken care in this land boundary agreement of 2015. Okay, so you might get in prelims what is adverse possession, what is enclave, what is enclave territory. Okay, so just be aware that these were all the issues which are there between India and Bangladesh. In addition to that, you can write the issue of New Moray Island. The issue of New Moray Island. MOORE. Or South Taipati. Okay, it's also called South Taipati. Okay, now this is an island which was evolved in 1970s. Okay, but again, this is a disputed island between India and Bangladesh. Okay, you can also mention about the location which is in news called Bashanchar. Can anyone tell me why this particular territory is in news? This island is in news. Anyone? See, this are often asked in prelims. Okay, why this particular island is in news, or what could be the reason? Okay, it is in news because of, if you want to write it down, it's in news because of the relocation plan for Rohingya refugees. The relocation plan for Rohingya refugees. The relocation plan for Rohingya refugees. Okay, because the problem of Rohingyas is between Bangladesh and Myanmar. So Bangladesh government, what they are planning to do is they wanted to shift all the Rohingyas in an island that's called Bashanchar, okay, which is in news. So just be aware about all these places which are there in news, like New Moray Island or the Bashanchar Island. Okay, all right. The next one is the river water disputes between India and Bangladesh. The river water dispute between India and Bangladesh. Okay, can anyone tell me how many rivers flow between India and Bangladesh approximately? So you want options? Okay, write down option A 1, option B 10, option C 50, option D 150. Which one would be close?
Option D.
D. Any other? Okay, option C. Okay, so there are more than 50 rivers which flow between India and Bangladesh. Okay, again your geography. Okay, there are more than 50 rivers which flow between India and Bangladesh. A joint rivers commission. A joint river commission. Okay, see, of this, the most important rivers are, you can write down, the Ganga river system, the Ganga river system, the Tista river system, the Barak and Brahmaputra river system, the Barak and Brahmaputra river systems. Okay, hope you are going to refer the map or refer an atlas and trace out where exactly all these rivers originate, okay, how they flow. Okay, hope you are going to do that exercise on your own. Okay, all right. Now, out of all these, the Tista river system is the most important issue. Okay, because often we see that like some rivers, this one are more important emotionally. Okay, to people. Now, no other river system is more important than the Tista river system. This is the most important river system, okay, which is often the area of conflict between India and Bangladesh. Okay, we just try to understand what exactly the Tista river dispute. Okay, write a few points. Tista originates from Sikkim. The river Tista originates from Sikkim. And joins Brahmaputra in Bangladesh. Joins Brahmaputra in Bangladesh. It is an important source of irrigation. It is an important source of irrigation. It is an important source of irrigation for farmers on both the sides. For farmers on both the sides. In 1983, in 1983 and 2011, in 1983 and in 2011, there were agreements between India and Bangladesh. There were agreements between India and Bangladesh on river water sharing. On river water sharing. However, these agreements were not ratified. Okay, that means there is no complete clarity on both the sides, okay, like on the interpretation part, and should we go ahead with a agreement or not, because sometimes West Bengal government would come into picture because water is a state subject. Okay, because of the domestic politics which are there in West Bengal. Okay, in the same way which are there in Bangladesh, and India being an upper riparian state, okay, and a large country. Okay, often Bangladesh views, okay, just like the way India views China. Okay, what we talk about China is constructing huge dams, huge reservoirs on Brahmaputra, stopping water. The exact same logic Bangladesh uses for India. Is it clear? Okay, because India started building a lot of projects across Bangladesh, across the Tista River. Now Bangladesh feels that these dams are used for creating artificial droughts or artificial floods in Bangladesh. Okay, just like what we are talking about China. Okay, the exact same logics the Bangladesh would talk about India. Okay, are we clear what happens when there is a large country and a small country? Okay, so what we are talking about China, exactly the same logics the Bangladesh gives, that India is not a very friendly country, which often uses border diplomacy to arm twist the lower riparian countries like Bangladesh. Okay, then trade, trade, trade. You can write few points about trade between India and Bangladesh. India-Bangladesh trade is India-Bangladesh trade is about $10 billion, about $10 billion. Okay, out of this, maybe $8.5 billion are $8.5 billion are Indian exports. Indian exports. Okay, that means there is a huge balance of trade for India. Okay, now see from Bangladesh perspective. Okay, see from Bangladesh perspective. What we are seeing here is China is dumping goods into India. Now Bangladesh thinks of the same thing against India. Is it clear? Now what Bangladesh believes is India is dumping the goods into Bangladesh. Okay, you can say there is a structural asymmetry and difference in the size of economy, and often India is creating a some kind of envelopment for Bangladesh to its economy. Okay, what we are talking about China. Okay, that means China, Indian economy is no match to China, and China is often arm twists India through envelopment. Okay, the same logic Bangladesh uses against India. Is it clear? Okay. Now, what we need to also understand is Bangladesh is often portrayed as, you can say, very weak country. Okay, Bangladesh is often portrayed as, you can write down, bottomless basket. Bangladesh is often portrayed as bottomless basket. Okay, bottomless basket, but it has proved to be wrong. It has proved to be wrong. It has proved to be wrong. Write down. Recently, Bangladesh surpassed recently Bangladesh surpassed Pakistan's economy. Bangladesh surpassed Pakistan's economy. And on many human development indices, and in many human development indices, it is way ahead. It is way ahead of its neighbors, including India. It is way ahead of its neighbors, including India. See, often in media, it is projected that if the borders are open, people from Bangladesh start flooding India. Is it clear? Now, this is a myth, what we need to be aware of. Okay, because in fact, Bangladesh is much better than India. Okay, on almost all the indices. Okay, because again, I'm talking with respect to statistics. Okay, when you're taking about the per capita income, when you're talking about, you can say the growth rate, when you're talking about the human development indicators like IMR, infant mortality rate, or if you're talking about life expectancy at birth. Okay, Bangladesh is much ahead of India on almost all the terms. Is it clear? So what we need to learn from Bangladesh, okay, there is a lot that we can learn from countries like small countries like Bangladesh. Okay, despite all the challenges, because India and Bangladesh are having similar challenges. Okay, if you look at Bangladesh is having even more challenges being a smaller country. Okay, now despite all its challenges, the way it is moving forward on the economic terms, on the social indicators. Okay, this is something interesting as well as inspiring. Okay, for all the countries in the neighborhood, including India. Okay, is it clear? So when you're writing your answers, just be cautious of that fact that Bangladesh is okay developed than India. Okay, I'm not talking only on the economic development. I'm talking with respect to uh, 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 the the social indicators as well. Okay, so take that myth off. Okay, from your minds that when there would be only influx of refugees from Bangladesh to India. Maybe it could happen other way around as well. Okay, if you don't perform well, okay, on these indicators, maybe you might expect people from West Bengal moving to Bangladesh slowly. Okay, that might happen. Okay, so any questions on the trade relations? Okay, the last one. So 3 T's we discussed: TISA, trade, and the last one, terrorism. Okay, write a note, short note. The BCIM corridor. The BCIM corridor. Okay, I think we discussed that this is a part of SREB, Silk Road Economic Belt. Okay, which is a part of the larger project of China called BRI, Belt and Road Initiative. Okay, right. We discussed about the Belt and Road Initiative in detail. Okay, one of the components of BRI is SREB, and one of the arms of SREB is BCIM corridor. Okay, now which connects, okay, if you again look at the map, it connects Kolkata, okay, via Dhaka and Mandalay to Kunming. Okay, could someone recollect which province of China Kunming is in?
Yunnan.
Yunnan, very good. Okay, YUNNEN. Now, why the Yunnan province is important also we discussed because of the proximity to the Golden Triangle. Okay, a huge amount of drug trafficking and drug production happen in this region. Okay, so this particular corridor is having a potential to tackle the problems of terrorism, insurgency, okay, and you can say the organized crime syndicates which operate in this region. Okay, so when you're writing about India-Bangladesh relations, do mention about the BCIM corridor also. Okay, so the scope it is having, and also you would also be aware that India is not opposing BRI. Okay, don't go with that notion that India is opposing BRI, because a stable neighborhood is good for India. Okay, a developed neighborhood is something which India looks forward to. Okay, what India does not like is the opaqueness with which the BRI is progressing. And most importantly, what India does not like is the CPEC kind of corridors, okay, which go through India's territories. Okay, the territories which are disputed territories, which India does not is not comfortable with. Okay, clear? Any questions? Okay, I think that's pretty much about Bangladesh. We just touched upon the Bangladesh, but hope you would be doing that exercise of geography, history. Okay, so hope I need not repeat it again for every country. Okay, so hope you would be doing that exercise, or when you're studying your economy, when you're studying your environment biodiversity, when you're studying your ancient Indian history or geography, just pay some attention about the countries as well. Okay, don't think that we are learning something which is not required. So when your other faculty is teaching you, just pay some attention to when we are talking about the river systems. Okay, how the rivers are you can say connected. Okay, what are all the important projects which are being constructed on the rivers. So often these can be part of your prelims questions. Okay, and even in mains you can add this one as the substantiating points. Okay, so any other questions before we move forward to the next country in our discussion, Pakistan?
Sir,
Yeah, please go ahead.
sir, in terrorism, in the notes, like we have not written anything. We just mentioned BCIM corridor. So,
Okay, so in the case of terrorism, like what we would be discussing maybe later, like when we are talking about the issues in Pakistan, the terrorism as such, then you list out like a lot of terrorist organizations, and almost all terrorist organizations which operate in India have some kind of basis in Bangladesh. Okay, so I think nothing much related to points separately to be noted here, but when we are talking about the other aspects, we'll come back to that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So maybe for time being, you can make a note of the organizations like Alpha, the organizations like NSCN. Okay, they have a lot of bases in Bangladesh, and it's very obvious, like because it would be easy for them to hide, okay, from one country to other country. And most importantly, if a country is not having good relations with India, okay, it would become more easier for them. For example, if an organization is here, okay, instead of moving to Nepal or Bhutan, where it knows it get caught by Indian forces, okay, maybe if it goes to Bangladesh or goes to Myanmar, it would be easier, or China, it would be easier for that group to hide. Okay, that's what we call it as, you can say, maybe in internal security, you would learn more about something called surgical strikes, okay, or hot pursuit. Okay, why we need to conduct this kind of operations, okay, like surgical strike or hot pursuit, because the targets, they move across the borders. Okay, all right, so we'll go to the next country, again, Pakistan. Okay, a few points again what we are going to discuss. So we'll keep it short, we'll not go into the you can say the geography, history, okay, again back. We'll just have a quick and a fair idea about what exactly the relations and what we need to touch upon. Okay, all right. First of all, what is important for us is to know the geography. Okay, so it's not only about India, we should know about India and its neighborhood as well. Okay, if you want, you can make a note. The provinces, okay, in India we call them as state. Okay, in Pakistan they call it as province. Provinces in Pakistan. Punjab, Sindh, Punjab, Sindh, Baloch, and Khyber. Khyber, Khyber, Khyber. Khyber. Okay, these are the 4 provinces which were there in Pakistan. Okay, now in addition to that, there is something called federally administered tribal region. Okay, this is Afghanistan border. Okay, this is India. Okay, the Pakistan Afghanistan border. Okay, the tribal territories which are there. Okay, think of this one as union territory for India. Okay, federally administered, that means they are administered by the union government. Okay, in India we call them as union territory. In Pakistan they call it as federally administered tribal area. Okay, FATA. Now write a note. Recently, I think last year, Pakistan upgraded Gilgit-Baltistan to grant provincial status. Okay, so apart from the 4 provinces, Okay, 4 provinces: Punjab, Sindh, Baloch, and Khyber. Gilgit-Baltistan would become the 5th province of Pakistan. Would become the 5th province of Pakistan. Okay, which is something in news. Just be aware about it. Okay, just be aware about it. Now, what is the implication for India and why Pakistan has done this move? Okay, why Pakistan has done this move? Can anyone tell me what could be the reason?
Article 370.
Article 370, very good. Okay, because on one hand, what Indian government is doing, okay, Article 370, the special status of Kashmir, we have revoked it. Okay, I think 2 years back we have revoked the special status which was given to Kashmir, and Kashmir was downgraded on its status, right? We made a state as a union territory. Okay, now on the other hand, as a counter move, Pakistan has elevated the status of Pak occupied Kashmir. Okay, that means to the rest of the world, it wanted to give an indication that we are giving more autonomy to the Kashmiris on our side, whereas India is not giving autonomy to the Kashmiris. Are you getting the point? Okay, this as a counter strategy it had to do. Now, what we need to also be aware, okay, at least from Indian side, we'll get some reports what is happening in Kashmir. Okay, but on Pakistan side or on China side, we don't even know what is happening here. Okay, either you take POK, either you take Aksai Chin, okay, or Shaxgam Valley, we don't even know what is in fact happening in this. Okay, so giving a provincial status, giving a or upgrading the status or downgrading the status does not matter much in countries like Pakistan or China. Is it clear? Okay, but we should be aware that this is a move which was recently in news. Okay, so just be prepared on what are the important places maybe in your geography also. Okay, what are all the different mountain ranges which are there in Gilgit-Baltistan region? Okay, what are the different passes which are there in Himalayas in this particular region? Just be cautious about all these facts. Okay, because they might ask you on this. So again, this particular map shows the region of Kashmir. Okay, this green color region is the POK, Pak occupied, and the dashed line is what we call line of control, LOC. Okay, and the line here between Indian side of Kashmir and Aksai Chin is what we call as line of actual control, LAC. Okay, right. So I think this is a Shaxgam Valley, and just below that is a Siachen Glacier, okay, which is the highest battleground between India and Pakistan. Okay, hope the map and everything is clear. Any question till now? Okay, just give me a second. Okay, all right. So we'll just try to understand what exactly the challenges the Pakistan faces. Okay, you can write down. Pakistan is an unnatural nation. Pakistan is an unnatural nation. Unnatural nation. Okay, now what do we mean by unnatural nation? Nation means there should be something to unite. Okay, there should be something which needs to be there for unity. Okay, now Pakistan is a country which is highly diverse. Okay, which is unlike other European countries. Okay, where there is a common language or there is a common culture or a common geography. Now Pakistan does not have any of this. Now, nor does India. Okay, now if you take India also, India is also an unnatural nation. Why India is an unnatural nation? Because we are having different languages, okay, different religions, different cultures. Now, what is the bound India uses to unite the people? India uses Indian constitution to unite the people, okay, which is a modern constitution. Now, the same problems Pakistan also face. Okay, there are multiple languages in Pakistan. Okay, if you are aware, if you see the map here, like a lot of people are Punjabi, Sindhi, Balochi, Pashtuni. Okay, there are like multiple languages which are popular in Pakistan. which are the spoken languages in Pakistan. Now, without giving any due respect to the languages, Pakistan has come up with a new language, Urdu, which only a few elite speak as a national language. Is it clear? Okay, when Pakistan was formed, like a lot of people are not very happy with adopting Urdu. Okay, because this is not a lingua franca of lot of the. It's not a vernacular language. It is something like a nostalgic language, something like Sanskrit. Okay, where hardly people speak. Is it clear? Okay, now when this language has come up, only few sections of people, okay, in and around Punjab or Sindh were able to understand this. Okay, what Pakistan tried with, they tried to use language as a binding mechanism to bring people together, but it did not work. Then Pakistan tried to use some kind of political setup, okay, which again would be, you can say, backfire in 1971 when Bangladesh would, you can say, disintegrate from Pakistan. Okay, the creation of Bangladesh. Now, what we need to understand here is there are multiple ethnic groups, there are multiple language barriers within Pakistan, and the only option Pakistan has to unite all the people together is today it is religion. Okay, so religion is not just a you can say the something which is related to culture in Pakistan. Religion is more to do with keeping the state together. Is this clear? That is where it became a need for Pakistan to often use religion in almost all the administrative aspects of state. Because Pakistan knows that if there is any threat to religion, okay, if there is any threat to religion, the whole, you can say, the state of Pakistan might collapse. That is where it became a need for Pakistan to propagate religion in almost all the walks of its state and its organizations. Is this clear why religion is so important for Pakistan? Okay, it is not that the people of Pakistan are so religious. Okay, it is not about it. It is about, it is a need for state to propagate religion. Just like we discussed about China yesterday. Okay, why economy is so important for China? Okay, economy is not just, you can say, the economy or growth rate is not just an economic metric for China, but it is a survival issue for China. Okay, that's what we discussed, because China has its own set of internal and external challenges. Okay, if there is any challenge to the growth, the China might end up like Soviet Union. Okay, now the Pakistan also knows that if there is any challenge to its religion, okay, the Pakistan would split into a small of, there could be balkanization of Pakistan. Okay, because there are a lot of turbulent provinces in Pakistan. Okay, Pakistan has its own set of weak points. Okay, for example, the Baloch is a highly turbulent region. Okay, the border it is having with Afghanistan. I hope you are aware that Pashtuns, okay, the Pashtun tribes, okay, and the federally administered tribal regions, they are not fully integrated with Pakistan. Okay, they have their own sets of demands. And most importantly, after the outbreak of Taliban, okay, now these kind of movements might gain further momentum for Pakistan. Are we getting the point? Okay, and the Pak occupied Kashmir, we don't know what is even happening here. Okay, in the Pak occupied Kashmir, so it is completely a dark area. Okay, now what we need to understand is, though Pakistan might seem to be like an important country, okay, within Pakistan it has its own set of challenges, from language, from ethnic groups, and most importantly within the religion. Okay, though we are saying that it is Islam, okay, and within Islam there are multiple sects within Islam, like Shia Sunni divide is there, then a lot of other you can say sectarian groups within the Shias or Sunnis would be there, and on the top of it there is the class divide, which is also coming up, which is also becoming a very important criteria in Pakistan. Are we getting the point here? So Pakistan, just like India or just like China, has its own share of internal troubles. Okay, now these troubles are like how China is tackling its internal challenges or external challenges with economy, with growth. Okay, how Pakistan is trying to tackle it? Pakistan is trying to tackle it with the help of using religion even more. Is it clear? Now it became a need for Pakistan, okay, to propagate religion, to propagate the non-state actors, to protect the state. Okay, so this is what we should be very much aware, that it is in need for Pakistan to propagate religion, to propagate non-state actors, okay, to keep itself together. Okay, are we clear why Pakistan often encourages the non-state actors? Okay, you can write down a statement. Okay, this sums up pretty well. What is happening in Pakistan? From a state within state, from a state within state, okay, it's called deep state. Deep state. From a state within state, Pakistan has moved to a situation of state above state. Okay, if you understand this, you would understand the political condition in Pakistan. Okay, now what exactly the state within state means? Okay, you can write down state within state. State within state. Okay, it's a clandestine government. Okay, clandestine means secret. Okay, something happening underground. State within state or a deep state means a clandestine government. Clandestine government made up of hidden networks of power. Clandestine government made up of hidden networks of powers. Hidden networks of power. Okay, now if you realize within Pakistan, okay, there are like different agencies which have their own agenda. Okay, I hope you are aware about ISI, the intelligence agency of Pakistan. Okay, it plays a very important role. Okay, the Supreme Court of Pakistan, it plays a different role. Okay, the administrative agency, the Prime Minister, okay, and the ministries, they play a different role. Now, what we need to understand here is there are different centers of power within Pakistan. Okay, and each of them have their own agenda, and each of them working in something like a hidden manner. Okay, there is no transparency. Okay, the bureaucracy has its own, you can say, has its own agenda. Now, it is unlike India, where we are having a clear structure. Okay, for example, when we get a you can say a directive from the union government, all agencies would coordinate with each other to comply with it. Have noticed this? If Supreme Court gives an order, okay, all the agencies like police to army to all agencies to obey to that. Okay, but in Pakistan, it is not like that. Supreme Court gives an order, Prime Minister challenges it. Okay, Prime Minister is sent to jail. Suddenly the ISI would come and help him and rescue him. Okay, this is what which happens within Pakistan. Okay, that means each of these organs, they maintain their own states. Okay, that's what we call it as state within state or deep state, because they work in a clandestine or a hidden manner. Okay, they have their own agenda. Okay, they try to keep they are in pursuit of their own political goals. Okay, is it clear what is state within state? Okay, now state above state. What is state above state? Okay, you can write down. In short, state above state means army is above the political leadership. Army is above the political leadership. Okay, now who is saying this? Okay, it is told by the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif. Okay, we are not quoting someone outside. Okay, someone who experienced Pakistan from closed quarters. They are saying that Pakistan from a deep state emerging as a state above state. Okay, that means there is someone who is above all the organs of the state, that is army. Is it clear? Okay, this is how the transformation of Pakistan is happening. Okay, which is something a matter of concern for a country like India. Okay, is this clear? What is the political condition in Pakistan and why you can say why it is a concern for India? Okay, now we'll try to understand a few issues which are there between India and Pakistan. Again, with respect to the current challenges, the most important challenge what we are having with Pakistan is border disputes and territorial claims. Border disputes and territorial claims. Border disputes and territorial claims. Okay. Okay. All right. So, few points. Again, we will not go into the details or this one. We'll just try to understand what exactly the issues which we need to be aware of. Okay. Make a note. Okay, so we were discussing that in the last class that a portion of Kashmir, okay, which is captured by Pakistan, is what we call POK. Okay, now the original line which is dividing India and Pakistan is called Radcliffe Line. Okay, so there are different borders between India and Pakistan, which we should be very much clear of. Okay, and there has been a ceasefire line. Okay, the red colored line which I am drawing here is what we call it as LOC, okay, line of control. In addition to that, there is international border, okay, which is a resolved border. Okay, most of the border in Gujarat or Rajasthan or Punjab, okay, is resolved. We are having about like 3,200 kilometers of land border with Pakistan. That's what we discussed. Okay, out of this, you can say most of the border, okay, is resolved. That resolved border is what we call international boundary. Okay, if you want, you can write down international boundary. Then we have AGPL or actual ground position line, AGPL or actual ground position line, actual ground position line, actual ground position line. Okay, then we have the most important, you can say, battlefield. Okay, right now, Siachen Glacier. Yeah, all these are the keywords I'm just giving you. Okay, in Kashmir. One is POK, okay, LOC, Siachen, okay, Shaksgam Valley. Okay, I hope you would be doing a small exercise of making a table and writing maybe 50 words or 100 words about each of this. Okay, what is LOC, what is IB, what is AGPL, what is Radcliffe. Okay, then second one, right now, Sir Creek. The Sir Creek. Okay, few points you can write. it's about 100 kilometers. It's about 100 kilometer. 100 kilometer water strip in the run of Kutch. In the run of Kutch. In the run of Kutch. RANN, run of Kutch. Okay, hope you would again take your map or atlas. Okay, find out what exactly the where exactly the run of Kutch is and where the Sar Creek is. Okay, so what you should also do is like take a map. Okay, take a map of Kashmir. Okay, and try to plot all these places which are there in this. Okay, right. Pathankot, Kargil, Uri, Pulwama. So all these are the flash points which are there between India and Pakistan. Okay, I hope you would maybe in your exam you might get arrange these places in the north to south order. Okay, or arrange these places in the east to west order. Okay, hope you would not miss these kind of questions. Okay, so take a map and try to exactly plot where exactly is Pathankot, where is Kargil, where is Uri. Okay, and find out what are all the geographical features which are there around this region. Okay, why the attacks happened during at these regions only. Okay, why these are called as flashpoints. Okay, until you understand the geography in detail, you might not be able to appreciate or able to, you can say, expect, okay, what kind of attacks could be happening in Kashmir. Okay, so I would strongly advise you to go through the map of Kashmir with physical map in the background. Okay, and also try to understand what are the different infrastructural projects which are being constructed recently. Okay, and how they can be able to tackle the, you can say the separatism problem in Kashmir, how far they can be effective. Okay. Then run of Kutch, we were writing a few points, right? The Pakistan claims based on the Thalweg principle, Okay, maybe you can check with your geography faculty. Okay, what exactly the Thalweg means. Okay, what kind of physical feature the Thalweg is and how it is important when we are talking about the international arbitration. Okay, what is the claim of Pakistan on this? Okay, and in fact, like the Sar Creek dispute became you can say it came to the limelight when in 1965 India and Pakistan went for a war. Okay, one of the you can say sparks for this war is the Sar Creek dispute. Okay, then you can write in Pakistan has always been a troubled neighbor for India. A troubled neighbor for India. A troubled neighbor for India. Where 4 major wars were fought. 4 major wars were fought. Okay, 1947, 1965, 1971, and 1999. Okay, the assignment for you today is make a table Okay, make a small table. Okay, write down what are the causes for 1947 war. Okay, what are the causes for 1947 war? Okay, what is the course of events? Okay, some important events, some important battles which were fought, and what are the consequences? Okay, what kind of treaties were made between India and Pakistan post the war? Okay, once you fill up this table, I think you would be having a good idea, okay, for to understand why the border disputes need to be resolved on a urgent basis, because in almost all these wars, maybe the reason, the major reason is the border disputes. Okay, we know that good borders make good neighbors. Okay, with Pakistan, we don't have a good border. I think that's what the challenge is. So until we resolve border dispute, the India-Pakistan relations could not be improved. Okay, that's where we need to understand the you can say the urgency with which we need to resolve the border dispute. Okay, we'll try to understand in tomorrow's class in detail. Okay, but I hope the assignment is clear. Okay, just half page of your notes. Write down the important causes. Okay, not generic causes. Okay, write down exactly with respect to 1947 war. Okay, maybe you can refer your post-independent history textbook. You can refer any other material. Okay, again, as I told, refer some good sources. Okay, like ORF, like IDSA. Okay, so or any good reputed magazines, if you are referring to, or any research papers. Okay, which would be giving you a more balanced view of this. Okay, rather than going with maybe Aztec or Republic TV debate. Okay, hope you would be doing that exercise. Okay, but I'm not getting any assignments from you guys. Only one assignment I got.
I sent one assignment, sir, yesterday for it.
Okay, I
Not
haven't
you, sir.
received it. Anyone else submitting assignments? Or you have any problem submitting it? Let me know. We'll just try to understand and work a way around. If you feel like the questions are very difficult to write, or if you feel like you don't have time, it's okay. You can let me know, so that we'll try to you can say work around that. Any reason, any specific reason? Okay, but so hope I expect this assignment by today, end of day. Okay then. Any other question before we wrap up today's call?
Sir.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sir, regarding the assignment, so like, will we get a feedback from you on the submitted assignment, or is it like an activity from our side and like we just submit and then that's considered done?
Maybe don't expect like maybe a individual feedback. If I get a lot of assignments, I might not be in a position to correct it. But what I can definitely do is like I can provide a feedback, a generic feedback. Okay, so based on your assignments, maybe I'll get an idea where you are. Maybe if I not able to correct it individually, maybe a generic feedback I can give. So that will help you to improve upon. Right. Okay, but at least it is a good practice, because once you complete a topic in class, maybe if you submit assignments, you'll be having you can say you would get that confidence that I can work around, I can get the material, I can get the content. See, ultimate purpose of coaching is to give you a direction, okay, to give you the confidence so that you'll be prepared for exam. Okay, it is not to give you the content. Okay, because as I told, like coaching would be having some limitations. So it is ultimately you need to work upon. So I would suggest like start making it a habit to submit the assignments. And by default, the assignments are, we covered Bangladesh today. Okay, you need not expect a assignment from me. What you can do is prepare your notes. Okay, prepare your notes, refer your previous year questions, what kind of questions are asked, prepare your notes, send it to me. Okay, so that way at least you will be disciplined on your own, that I covered Bangladesh, and I have also referred all the previous year questions, so that you can keep this particular topic aside. Okay, just like we completed India, China. Okay, likewise you can complete one topic and keep it aside, so that you need not do the repeated work at a later date. Okay. So
okay, sir.
Okay, any question or any thoughts? Okay, all right then. Thank you. Have a nice day ahead. Bye.